Welcome back. It's game 16 of 16 at the 6th annual D3Hoops.com Classic, and game 5 of 5 for St. Vincent College, who had their women's and their men's team here. And because of a scheduling quirk, gets 3 games on the men's side as the Bearcats of St. Vincent take on the Calvin College Knights. Calvin College last night battled number 2 Whitworth to a standstill, had a chance to tie the game late against Whitworth, but were unable to get all the way back. Nevertheless, despite dropping to 4-6 on the season, the Knights were very impressive, and as they prep for MIAA play, they get one more chance here to get a non-conference win over a Division III opponent and a team in terms of St. Vincent that would certainly like to put themselves in position for a potential at-large bid if they do not win the conference as they have the last couple of years. The last 3 seasons, the Bearcats haven't needed an at-large bid. They have won the President's Athletic Conference outright, but that's a conference that does not generally get a lot of at-large bids, and so this is a team in Calvin that St. Vincent, it's not entirely impossible that they might see each other in terms of regional rankings later in the year, and just in terms of overall momentum, St. Vincent looking to keep it going after their victories here this weekend so far as the St. Vincent Bearcats and the Knights get set to tip it off. Everything else is complete. Always a little bit of a downer to get to the end of this tournament. They have all the things set up for all the different teams, and in the last game, just 2 banners left. In fact, St. Vincent has already taken theirs down, so has Calvin. So, nevertheless, we'll keep the energy up for you here. Glad you could join us with your watching the game from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which is where St. Vincent's at, or Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is where Calvin is, or wherever you happen to be. Both these programs, or both these athletic departments, had their women's teams in action today. St. Vincent was here, and they won a hard-fought game with the University of Laverne in the lone women's game of Day 4 of the D3Hoops.com Classic. Calvin not as fortunate. The number 11 ranked Knights losing 79-70 at Capital University. So the looking for a bit of a bright line to the day are the Knights as they get set, and we get set for the starting lineups here for Coach Kevin Van Streek and D.P. Harris. First for the starters for the Bearcats, who are wearing the black and green this evening. 6'3" guard, Pat Jones. They'll be joined in the backcourt by number 5, the 6'2" guard, J.C. Howard. And also in the backcourt, the 3-guard set, 5'11" senior Jalon Bell. You've got the 6'6" sophomore forward, Austin Dieter. And rounding things out, the 6'7" junior forward, number 32, Austin Ford. Again, St. Vincent coached by D.P. Harris, a longtime head coach at St. Vincent, who's taken the program to the NCAA tournament and taken them to the NAIA tournament, which is where St. Vincent was up until a handful of years ago as an NAIA program. Other side of things, long time NCAA members of the oldest conference for basketball in the country, the MIAA and the Calvin Knights, as it's Austin Parks, senior guard, 6 foot, number 10. He trots out there with Tony Canoni, a 6'2" sophomore guard, number 20. In the front court, you've got junior forward, 6'7", number 22, Cam Denny. Actually, Denny comes out after Michael Wilkes, the 6'5" sophomore forward. And then Denny, and then rounding out the starting lineup, senior guard, number 34, 6'3", Jordan Daly. And again, Kevin Van Streek, the longtime head coach at Calvin College. So the Knights and the Bearcats finish off the 6th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. And St. Vincent looking to do something that will probably never be repeated. Go 5-0 at the D3 Hoops Classic, no matter how many of these we do. And again, that's men's and women's combined. But even the 3-0 mark for them is unlikely to be duplicated. The reason why is this is generally a 2-game tournament or a 2-game event for the teams, but they and Mary Hardin Baylor both had an opening on their schedule, so they played an extra game on Sunday night. Bearcats in the black and green with the yellow trim.
Calvin has illegal uniforms.
How is that?
Their
white on
numbers
white?
are supposed to be contrasting.
Ah, okay.
That'll drive a few people who may be watching the game a little crazy.
Calvin with the basketball off the tip. As Jordan Daly swings it around, down low, shot attempt is blocked from Michael Wilkes. And the Knights will inbound from underneath their own basket. Well, at least they have that maroon outline on there. Imagine if they didn't have that. They'd be warm-ups.
I don't think they'd be. Yeah, I was going to say, then they wouldn't be numbers.
Shot on the way, no good. But a reach-in and a foul, and I think Michael Wilkes is going to get 3 free throws here to start the game.
Bell will pick up an early foul here. Not exactly advisable to start the game. We're still double-checking who the starters are. Making sure I got them right because, you know, the uniforms. I was. I still didn't catch them. There we go. I'm good.
Free throw up and good. Start this game out. Third one for Wilkes. He hits 2 of 3, and the Knights are on the scoreboard to start things out. First possession of the night. Actually, I'm sorry, hit all 3. It's 3-0, Calvin. And first possession of the game here for the Bearcats. Austin Ford rotated around Dieter, and now into the hands of Jalen Bell. Ford looks like he wants to go down low. They have a size advantage in Austin Dieter. This jumper floated up and missed, but the Bearcats get the offensive rebound as Ford kept it alive for J.C. Howard.
Keep an eye on Austin Ford as he got his ankle rolled up on underneath just a moment ago.
Dieter misses the point-blank shot, working hard for the putback, and he's fouled and will go to the free throw line.
I think Austin Ford and Wilkes were going at it in the post, and kind of like an offensive or defensive lineman gets their ankle rolled up from behind, just kind of an inadvertent, and Austin walks it off a little bit here.
First free throw up and good for Ford. Excuse me, that's Dieter. Yeah, there's also Austins in this game. There's an Austin Parks, an Austin Ford, and Austin Dieter.
Yep. Played a game in Austin, Texas, and we'd be all set.
Yeah, well, 3-1 the score here. Calvin with more free throws on their trip than St. Vincent had, and good offensive possession. Nice look down to the baseline, wide open shot for Michael Wilkes. He's got 5 quick points, and the Knights lead 5-1.
That rare 5-1 score.
Yeah. 18:34. Play in the first half. Pat Jones, drive, shot. No good, and rebound controlled by the Knights. Jordan Daly has it stripped away momentarily. Bumped and knocked away. Wilkes with the steal. Calvin, as we get a foul on the floor. Austin Parks trying to dribble to the rim, and maybe Jalen Bell's second foul if they got him.
Nah, I think he showed him too many fingers.
Yep, you're right. Austin, one of the Austins. Austin Ford
picks it up. Yep, his first, team second.
5-1 Calvin. Cam Denny into the post. Daly drive, got it, count it, and he'll go to the line.
Might have Ford in trouble here.
And that triggers D.P. Harris off the bench in a very bright green sweatshirt here today.
Luckily, he doesn't go against Ford, goes against Austin Dieter, the other Austin on the floor. He picks up his first, team third. Otherwise, Austin Ford with 2 fouls quick would be a little bit of a troubling sign for the Bearcats.
Daly's free throw no good, and Pat Jones will track it down for St. Vincent. 7-1 early on here. Calvin on top.
Austin Ford, by the way, a 61% or 63% shooter. You don't want to lose that, though. A quick 3, and I gave the points to the wrong side. We'll fix it here. Now it's 7-4.
So Pat Jones with the first field goal of the night for the Bearcats. Drive in, layup, off balance, hanging but hitting Austin Parks, and the Knights push the lead back to 9-4. Bell bringing the ball up the floor. So we'll get our first sub of the night here in a moment. Working around the arc, Ford for Bell.
Man-to-man defense for the Knights.
St. Vincent doing all their passing around the perimeter here. 9 on the shot clock. As Howard drives in momentarily. Bell hangs, swooping in, and lays it up and in. Well, when they needed to get inside the paint, they did quickly.
Parting of the seas there for the Knights. as Bell took off, everybody kind of cleared the lane defensively, allowed him an easy layup inside.
Barks as Pat Jones looks over the top of his smaller counterpart. Tony Canoni. Open look, Wilkes again, rattles it in.
Of course, you mentioned it earlier, St. Vincent going into their third game in 4 days here. It's a lot of basketball for a team, but when you have less pressure of where you're staying and transportation and all that stuff, it makes it a little bit easier, but they'll never do this again this season just by logistics.
Wilkes with 7 points in the first 4 minutes of this game for the Knights. Is a nice spin-around jumper for J.C. Howard. And both teams shooting a high percentage to start the game. Calvin leads by 3 with 3.5 gone.
Probably shouldn't say never. You never know if there's some crazy weather event forces some crazy way of. I mean, they are in a neck of the woods where that's possible. So is Calvin, of course.
Well, if they slid to somehow 6th in the conference or something, they would get 3 games in 5 days or 4 days.
Roughly, yeah.
13-8. Knights having all kinds of success doing whatever they want here on offense so far.
D-Dirt with an interesting screen. I'm surprised they didn't call him for it. Kind of used his upper body to stay in contact even away from, even if the guy moved away from him.
Ford, turn around, put back, no good. Canoni with the rebound. Calvin is 5 of 6 to start the game.
And we got 4 subs for the Bearcats ready to check in, kind of like they did all tournament so far, and a 3-pointer response, and quickly Calvin has doubled up St. Vincent.
Yeah, Cam Denny for 3. And the Knights shooting 86% to start the game over the first 5 minutes. 16-8. Jalen Bell off a screen from Dieter. Rotated around, Howard. Bell. Nice pickup there by Canoni. And Bearcats will have to get something going here. 7 on the shot clock. Down to 5. Ford with his back to the basket. 3, 2, 1, and did not get it off.
Oh!
Well, should not have been counted. That was clearly in his hands after the ball left, or after the buzzer had sounded. But Pat Jones, the beneficiary of the call. Kevin Vandestreek did not.
He didn't argue it.
Didn't contest it. 16-10.
He probably wants to pace himself on what he wants to contest.
Yeah, he was pretty exercised by the end of last night's game.
Yes, he was.
That shot from Wilkes is good, and man, Wilkes has 9 points to start the game. It's 19-10 Calvin, and the Knights continue to just not miss. Now 7 of 8 from the floor.
I had made a comment that Vandestreek had been sitting a lot during the game, and then by the end of it, he was no longer sitting against Whitworth. Heck of a game for them yesterday.
Yeah, and a chance here to build with a win tonight and go home with some momentum before conference play starts.
It'll end a losing streak for them, 3 straight, but at the same time, it also proved, and I think yesterday proved, that sometimes, and even the earlier game, proves that the records don't actually mean much based on what the team is doing in the schedule they're playing.
Yeah, although at some point, if you're 3-4 games below 500, you're 3-4 games below 500.
Well, wholesale changes, and the only man who will stay on the floor for either team will be J.C. Howard. He is the only man who stays out there for either team.
Yeah, so we'll reset him for you.
Boy.
This is Nate Drews with the ball, working it around Seth Van Engen. And now Drews on the right wing.
Van Engen, I don't even think played yesterday.
Carlos Amoros. Check that. That's Michael Welch. And Drews, wow. Well, that'll end the streak of shots made for Calvin.
And that comes to us a thud.
Matt D'Amico on the floor here for St. Vincent.
That's
hanging shot. And he's going to count it, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see that signal yet.
J.C. Howard, lone guy who's remained on the floor. So let's reset St. Vincent for you as Howard comes to the free throw line. You've got Howard there. You've got Mike Simmons on the block. He is joined by number 21. That is Matt D'Amico. In the backcourt, you've got Bobby Swartout, big man, 6'6", also a pitcher and a first baseman for the Bearcats baseball team, and Dan Sinwell, who's 6'2", rounding out the 5 on the floor at the moment for Coach Harris. As the free throw is up and good, Howard completes the 3-point play, and St. Vincent trims the lead to 18-13. 5 on the floor for Calvin. You got Van Engen, Cronenmeyer, who had the ball right there. Nate Drews, 3 on the way, is up off the back rim, no good for Preston Huckabee. And then the follow is up and good for Drews. So rounding out that starting lineup for the Knights is Welch. 20-13. Calvin has missed just 3 shots here in the opening 7 minutes as Swartout is fouled.
Now Swartout, there's been 2 Swartouts in this tournament.
Yeah, one for Pacific Lutheran.
None of them related to each other.
I wouldn't imagine not.
They don't even look the same.
Yeah.
But that's Swartout was a major factor yesterday. He's got some talent. Big man who can do some things with the ball. You don't think he can go off dribble, but once in a while he can. Bell certainly can go off dribble.
Nearly goes off the court with that pass. Swartout swing it out. 3 on the way. Up and good. And that is Matt D'Amico. Nope, check that. Dan Sinwell.
Sinwell, yeah.
So the Knights, or the Bearcats now 1 for 2 from behind the arc.
3-2 zone from the Bearcats. Aggressive 3-2 zone. Outside the arc zone.
Welch. Kick along to the sideline. 3 on the way. Back rim, no good. Jalen Bell with the rebound. And you figure the Knights are due for a handful of misses here as they come back to the mean of their shooting percentage.
Yeah, mathematically they're definitely up for it.
Nate Drews. Look from Welch. Welch waits for Swartout. Nice play. Swartout drawn to him. Shot no good though. And ball deflected out. Calvin retains possession. Fresh 30 shot on the shot clock.
Van Engen with a great move there because the pass from Welch was behind him.
Bell just takes it out of the hands of Welch.
No, I'm going to take that. Thank you.
And down the floor, Jalen Bell for an easy 2 is Calvin coming with another wave of players.
Since
Wisconsin
when did he go to the
Stout
Stout
style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When did he go to the Stout system?
The Stout, who was at this tournament, ran 5 fresh bodies on the floor every 5 minutes. They played 21 guys last night. And a loss to Pacific Lutheran. Right here, 20-18.
I guess this is the way to keep us active in the final game here, Gordon.
Yeah, well, get these kids their money's worth, too.
Nice.
Swartout draws a couple of defenders as they angle it around for Sinwell. And
they didn't even do this yesterday, the 5 sub.
No,
not at all against Whitworth.
Jalen Bell pull up, long jumper, shot no good. Bell will not get his own rebound because Swartout takes it away from him. And Coach D.P. Harris wants a timeout. Wants a full. We'll take it with him. 11:03 to play. First half. Calvin 20. St. Vincent College 16. Welcome back. 20-18 is the score. I said 2016, and the live stats say 2019, but it's actually...
Pick your choice. It's one of the 3.
Yeah.
By the way, scoring update I just saw. MSOE leads Illinois Wesleyan, 4:50 left in the game, 80-58. Let that sink in for a second.
Milwaukee School of Engineering, not known as a basketball power.
Nope. That's an interesting score.
Right side, Jalen Bell. D'Amico, as they try and get Swartout and something established inside the arc. Swartout.
He'll just get there himself.
Yeah. Bell.
2.
Swinging around with shot clock winding down. Shot no good, but offensive rebound. D'Amico
barely caught iron.
Got his own rebound, and St. Vincent with multiple chances there. Remember, that's 3 rebounds. That possession was extended by an offensive rebound before the timeout. So that's a 4-board possession there for St. Vincent, and they get the game even at 20.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to even them. Come on, where is it?
Yep. Pass nicely stolen away by D'Amico. Check that Sinwell, and
stepped out of bounds.
Simmons running along the sideline too close to it. Turnover back to the maroon and gold.
Simmons, I don't think's played all tournament until today. Not that surprised if you're going to go deep in the bench, but they're coming off of a break too, so a little surprising maybe. Oh, look at that pass.
Touch pass. Now look over, jumper short, off the hands of Michael Wilkes, no good. Wilkes, check that, Cam Denny. Swartz out, he'll draw a crowd. Nice move by the big man. He doesn't finish, but you're right, he's deceptively quick. Cam Denny, I think, was going to get the foul. And it is on Denny. Team foul number 4. And Swartz out to the free throw line, where again we mentioned the fact he's a pitcher and a first baseman.
Swart out a 62% free throw shooter, has played in every single game of his career, which is totaling 41 now.
Michael Welch returns. Cam Denny to the bench. And Swartz out. Drops a pair as Austin Ford will come in and relieve him. 22-20 St. Vincent, so they were down 16-8. You can do the math. A 14-6 run here for St. Vincent has them back out in front. And Calvin, who opened up hitting 7 of 8 shots, has now made 1 of their last 7.
So I guess that's evened off.
Yep. Well, there you go. Right back to work. The 3 on the way out of the hands of Austin Parks. Deep 3, and he hits it. 2 of 5 now from behind the arc for the Knights. 23-20 the score. Ford for Bell. Bell on the baseline. That's got to be a travel. Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of extra steps in that.
Yes. Absolutely.
So Parks to bring the ball up the floor. He's got Michael Wilkes, who had 7 very quick points to start this game.
You can tell this is the final game as we're pacing ourselves.
Yeah. Canoni. Outside, nice catch by Daly, and Daly going to end up getting fouled here. Take your pick, but I think it's going to be Ben Klimchak for St. Vincent.
You can hear Coach D.P. Harris. That's not your guy. Having some frustrations with the defense, the zone. 3-2.
Klimchak, a senior guard from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, just about 10 minutes west of Latrobe, as that shot is up and good for Calvin. 25-22. Knights back out in front in the seesaw first half battle. Klimchak. No. Daly with the rebound for the Knights. Jordan Daly down the floor. Hangs. Shot. No. St. Vincent, good rebound from Austin Ford. Bell for D'Amico. Ford now in the post, and going to get a foul.
They're going to get Parks. They will. That'll be Parks.
I thought it was
Reached in. As Howard will come back into the game for St. Vincent. And I think coming back into the game is Nate Drews, the junior guard from Rochester Hills, Michigan for the Knights.
The poetically named Tony Canoni heads to the bench.
Getting hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He left a note on the door saying, son move out to the country. Is that the rest of the line there from the Billy Joel song? 28-22, 7:53 to play here.
Austin Parks with the three-pointer. Makes it 28-20. 28-22. Lots of 2s and 20s in there.
Bell.
Calvin in his zone.
Yeah, as I say, 2-3 zone defense. Shot no good. Rebound controlled by Welch. Calvin brings the ball down the floor here. Parks gets a screen from Welch. Deep 3, no good. Jalen Bell skies above the defense. I don't know if he'll be able to hang on to the ball as he's whacked near the far corner. And there's going to be a foul.
I think that's going to go on Daly. He'll be his second. But I'll double check here. Daly, of course, leading scorer and rebounding for this. It is Cap. Coming into the weekend, nearly 20 points a game, over 6 rebounds a game for this team, shooting 51% from the floor.
Bell bringing it across half court. Pat Jones has returned here for St. Vincent, number 4. Bell has gone the full game so far. Dieter calling for the ball. Ford with a hard pass to Jones. 10 on the shot clock. Winding down, jumper from inside the arc, up and good. Soft touch from J.C. Howard.
Howard hit that shot from about that spot to win it last night.
Game against Ramapo.
Yeah, that was last night.
Yep.
Couldn't remember.
They all blur together at this point.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon. He hit it from right about that spot. That's all I can tell you, Gordon, for sure. Well, that's not going to make it easier.
St. Vincent winning on Sunday, getting Monday off, and then playing Tuesday and now Wednesday. Free throw up and good. Cam Denny at the line here for the Knights. Score of note, I'm sure folks back at Grand Rapids. A little bit of a sigh or a grunt when they hear this one, but Hope defeats Beloit. Men's basketball.
Yeah, good point. I mean, it's catch-22. I heard one Twitter fan yesterday was wanting Calvin to win because it was going to help Hope's SOS. But at the same time, I mean, it'll still help them by playing Whitworth, but they wanted to win by Calvin to have a better record against Calvin. And I can't blame them. I understand that.
Yeah, well, they'll need the help because the MIAA, it's extremely top-heavy conference.
And especially this year, there's probably 4 teams who will vie for maybe second. I don't know if Hope's going to give that up.
Nice soft touch out of the hands of Nate Drews there. Calvin going to give very balanced scoring. They lead by 7 with 6 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, that's the big key is Hope's probably going to win that conference. Whoa, Bell slipped a little bit as he took off.
Easy, we got a Calvin audience here. Bell.
I know, but I was going to say Calvin. Well, Calvin won the conference last year. I don't think they had aspirations that they could.
Yeah, Hope will definitely be the favorite.
Yeah, and then you got. But I think you got Trine, Alma, and Calvin who will fight it out for second. Not. Did I mean? Yeah. Those 3. That's who I meant.
31-24. I think Alma's been off to a real hot start.
Alma's off to a great start. And then when I talked to Hope's head coach, I think it was, I talked to somebody in the MIAA on Hoopsville. They're the ones who pointed out Alma would have a good start.
Yeah. Scott's told by Patter leading St. Norbert, who's a quality program out of the Midwest Conference.
Yep.
34-24 here. Calvin up by 10 on the 3-time defending champs of the President's Athletic Conference. Jumper, long, no good.
The one problem with St. Vincent's gotten out of the PAC 3 times to the AQ, gotten to the NCAA tournament, and not won a game.
Yeah, this conference is 1-10 in the last 10 NCAA tournaments. Actually, I'm sorry, they're 0-10 in the last NCAA tournaments. He knows that
more than anybody else because Gordon compiles that info. But that's, they struggled. They're in their 10th season in Division III. They're a quality program. They just haven't been able to get over the hump as Ford hits the shot.
What they need is Sidney Moss to transfer the Division III equivalent of that on the men's side. They need to get a first-team All-SEC player to transfer into to St. Vincent. And
hey, I've heard it's happened before.
Yeah, it doesn't make quite as much of a difference on the men's side of things usually. 34-26 here.
Duncan Robinson changed his mind. He's going to St. Vincent. There you go.
Three-pointer up and good.
Couldn't make that look any easier, could he?
No, Drew's nice touch here. 5 points off the bench, and the Knights.
He's their best 3-point shooter.
Yeah, after the Bearcats had gone out in front, Calvin's erupted here now, and they're up by 11.
Drews is a 53% from the floor and 53% from beyond the arc. Hasn't coming into these 2 games. Hadn't even gone to the free throw line. That's a little odd.
Drews with 10, Wilkie with 11, and a quick rebound, and here comes Calvin the other way again. Slow it down momentarily. Canoni sets it up. 3 on the way. No, can't roll home there. It's
going to go against Welch. That'll be his first.
Meppelink into the game, sophomore guard, 6'3". He fired up that 3. And here comes a bunch more subs. Austin Ford back in for the Bearcats. Austin Parks and Jordan Daly return for Calvin College.
This will be a shooting scenario, by the way, because it's the 7th team foul on Calvin. So last 3:33 here. We'll have a 1-and-1 at least here for Dietert, who is team best 85.7% free throw shooter coming into the week. Of course, we've had this being St. Vincent's 3rd game. Time to change that, but I'm not about to try and do that math. Whoa. Well, didn't look like an 86% free throw shooter with that one, unfortunately.
Barely grazes the rim, 37-26. Calvin on a run. Austin Parks outside. Canoni with the jumper. No. Ball tipped off the hands, last touched by Jordan Daly. It'll be St. Vincent basketball.
Both Knights still shooting over 50% from the floor. St. Vincent has fallen off that pace, now shooting 37.5%. So far, only 3 total turnovers in this game.
Ford for Jones. J.C. Howard. Ford trying to get it down low to Dieter, who's being screened off nicely. He's actually being double-teamed down on the block. Austin Parks down there to help out.
Calvin in that zone, that's easy to do.
Pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound controlled by Michael Wilkes. And Parks thought about a deep 3.
Yeah.
Wisely
thought, yeah. I don't think Coach Van Streek wants him taking that shot.
Turnaround shot from Denny as
Wow.
the Knights have their 5 starters on the floor. Daly can't get it to fall, but he is fouled. And
what's impressive was Daly got that rebound while getting shoved out of the way, not purposefully, just the way the bodies were moving inside, and was able to reach out and kind of get that with the edge of his fingers. Ford picks up a 3rd foul. That's with 2:32 left, he'll come out of the game.
yeah, they've tried to establish him and Dieter down low on offense in the last couple of possessions and just nothing going. Calvin's got that completely shut off with his own defense.
So the 6'2 senior guard from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, Dan Sinwell, will come in, replacing the 6'7 Ford. So they'll give up a little bit of height here as the free throw is good.
Nick Cronenmeyer checks into the game. Jordan Daly heads to the bench. 38-26, Calvin on top by 12, 2:30 to play in the first half. St. Vincent with the basketball. Dieter, good for some space. And ball is stripped.
But he gets
Out
it
of the
back.
hands of D'Amico, gets it back, and they'll get free throws here.
Actually, getting it back was D'Amico. Yeah, that's who it was. They'll go to the free throw line, but geez, talk about a strange sequence of events.
DP Harris with some words for the 4 guys that are not at the free throw line.
Wilkes picks up his first.
Up and good. 38-27 now.
D'Amico came into the week having only shot 6 free throws and making 6 free throws. Not exactly a guy who gets the free throw line all that often, but will make them when he's there, though I was pretty sure I had jinxed him with the way that one was rattling around on the rim.
4 points now for D'Amico, and St. Vincent going to go to a press, which Calvin breaks pretty easily. Daly hanging, shot is blocked, and last touch by the Knights.
Yeah.
Nicely done as Cronenmeyer had his shot smacked back in his face and off his knee out of bounds.
Jones, off balance, able to get his long extended arms into that one. Jones out of Frostburg, Maryland, which is in the western panhandle of Maryland, so not that far from Latrobe and kind of a familiar locale.
Yeah, I'd say Latrobe's probably 30-40 minutes off the Pennsylvania-Maryland border.
Yeah.
That pass is picked off by Tony Canoni.
I have kind of a feeling that Jones wanted to spread his wings and not have to, Frostburg State didn't exactly appeal to him. Wanted to at least go to another locale.
Jumper up and good. Off the hands of Michael Wilkes, who hadn't scored for a while, but now has 13 points. 40-28, Calvin holding St. Vincent at bay. The Bearcats haven't made a field goal in a while now.
They've been quiet. You're right.
Howard, double dribble. Yeah, took a second for the refs to call it.
I think it probably took him a second to realize, oh, yeah, that just looked weird. Sometimes it looks weird and it's fine, and I can just imagine in a referee's mind they're kind of replaying it quickly.
Third turnover of the game for St. Vincent. They've taken care of the ball, but they haven't been able to shoot it with any kind of consistency. Now shooting 37%. Knights still shooting 50%. Swing it around. Parks into the hands of Denny. 3 from Canoni. Short-armed it and missed it.
Yeah, you're right.
Shortened up his stroke to try and...
they're going to say it was touched by Howard. Say Howard got a piece of it apparently coming out of his hand. You're right, he did short arm it on top of that, but it was because Howard was forcing him into it and it forced him to tip it out.
First action of the night for the 6-foot freshman guard Will Sander, who checks in, and that's him right there. 34.
Play last night either. I don't think he played he might have.
Pat Jones with the basketball. St. Vincent trying to get something positive offensively to go to in the half, down by a dozen.
13.
And not going to get it with an illegal screen from Dieter.
No, you're not, unfortunately. That's Dieter's second personal. Team sixth. Not that it would have mattered off of an offensive play anyway. Not going to get a free throw.
Cronenmeyer heads to the bench.
Of course, Calvin plays in one of the bigger arenas in Division III.
Oh.
The DeVos Center. 5,000 seats. Been in that one, not for a game. You have.
I have, yeah, for the women's Final Four
I've been there when they've had it all shut down, but it's still an impressive facility nonetheless.
Very much so. Denny fires it into the middle of 3 black shirts, and out of the pile comes St. Vincent. 6 on the shot, 6 on the game clock. Shot clock is off. 3 from the far corner. No. Dieter
better put it up.
Put it up, and boy, just poor clock awareness there by Dieter.
Just needed to put it right back up.
You catch that with 3 seconds. You got to know you don't have time to do whatever that was. So Calvin shoots hot early, and St. Vincent goes cold late, and it all adds up to a 12-point Knights lead. Is looking for Pat Coleman. Nope. We'll
call off the Dogs.
Yeah, we'll just go to break, and we'll come back in about 12 minutes with your second half of action. Knights on top of the Bearcats here in the final game of the 6th annual D3 Hoops Classic. Welcome back here at the half. It's Calvin comfortably in front of the St. Vincent Bearcats for the moment, 40-28. Bit of bookkeeping here. Dave will be drawing some unhappy notes from the Grand Rapids region. We noticed, or someone else noticed, that we talked about Calvin's Sparkling Arena DeVos Fieldhouse, but that's actually Hope's home court, Van Noord Arena. I have been there for games on both sides. Always the women's. I haven't been in a men's game yet, but they're both nice in their own right. If I had to choose between the two of them, I would go with Van Noord. Yeah, well, it's a Calvin broadcast. It's the only reason I'm going to feel comfortable saying that. But if it were a Hope broadcast, I wouldn't say anything. If it was a Calvin broadcast, no, I think Van Noord. But it's neck and neck. And coming from the part of the country where I am, where a lot of gyms are. A lot of schools would be happy to have the practice courts that Hope and Calvin have at their main gym. So they're both sparkling facilities and for two of the most storied programs in Division III basketball, so appropriately so. Right here, St. Vincent got to get something going on offense as they are trailing Calvin at the half. The Knights came out and didn't miss much of anything, and they cooled off a little bit, but not a whole lot. They're still shooting 47%, 15-32 from the floor. 5 of 12 from behind the arc, 42%, and 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Bearcats playing their third game in 4 days here in Las Vegas. 10 of 28 from the floor, 38%, 2 of 8 from behind the arc, and 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Bearcats out-rebound the Knights by 2, 20-18. In terms of assist-to-turnover ratio, the Bearcats with 3 assists to 4 turnovers, so not much doing on either side. Calvin, very impressive, 9 assists to 3 turnovers, so a very sparkling ratio there for the Knights in the first half. Individual standouts, for the Bearcats, 2 players with 7 points apiece. Pat Jones, 3 of 8 from the floor with a 3. J.C. Howard, 3 of 5 from the floor with a couple of free throws. For the Knights, Michael Wilkes, 13 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds. He had just 1 foul. Austin Parks and Nate Trews also contribute 8 points in that game. Leading rebounder for the Knights was Michael Welch. He had 4. Leading board man for the Bearcats was Austin Dietert. He also had 4. So see if St. Vincent can come back and get a little closer here to the Knights. Down by a dozen as we start the second half. I would suspect it'll be the 5 starters out there, and I would be wrong. Dan Sinwell is out there along with Austin Dietert. Austin Ford is on the bench. He would be that 5th starter. The rest of the starting lineup is back. Jalen Bell and number 4, Pat Jones, who just took and missed that three-pointer.
Well, Austin Ford had 3 fouls, so no surprise there that he's taking a seat, or stays in his seat.
Jordan Daly, and going to be a foul called here, I gather.
Looks like it's going on Sinwell.
Okay. Yep, Dan Sinwell picks up the foul. 5 starters on the floor. This is Cannoni here, Austin Parks, Cam Denny, Michael Wilkes, and Jordan Daly. Jumper from Wilkes, no. Tipped out of bounds. Off the hands.
Just out of bounds.
No.
Hand was in the air, but no, it is a foul. How about that? Sinwell. No. Dieter picks up an early 3rd foul here. Keep an eye on what happens here.
Yeah. I'm fighting the urge to make a Sprockets reference. I don't know that anybody would get that. That's wrong generation.
Yeah, probably.
3-pointer on the way. Up and good. Michael Wilkes again. Boy, he is a real nice all-around player. Big guy with good range. 16 points for Michael Wilkes. 43-28. Rotated around, open look for 3. Won't sit. Dietert with the rebound. Oh, shot blocked from behind by Cannoni. As Parks coming back the other way. Wanted to leave it for Cannoni or somebody, but has to wait for somebody to come into the ball. Denny into the block. Daly has it poked away. Good defense there from Howard. Turns on him. Shot will not count. Foul on the floor on Pat Jones. And the Bearcats have their 2nd foul of the second half. And here comes the cavalry for St. Vincent. Ben Klimchak. You got Bobby Swart out. Number 21, that's Matt D'Amico. Austin Ford has returned to the game, though he does have the 3 fouls. and somebody who's grabbing the chest of Daly at the moment. Yeah, that's Mike Simmons.
By the way, hold on.
Yeah, Pat Jones picked up the foul. He has since left the game.
Don't know if anybody has gone after me on Twitter or not, because I haven't been on Twitter. But I said Calvin. Well,
yeah, we covered that already.
Did we? Good. I just wanted to point out, I have no idea where I came up with that one.
It's been a long week.
Apparently, because
or whatever it is at this point.
And the sad part was I didn't really realize I said it.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. Not when we have it off.
Thankfully. Like Simmons to the outside. As pass will be saved. Only St. Vincent hasn't had a basket here in what seems like an eternity. Austin Ford will end the eternity. 46-30.
Much to the applause somewhere, and it might have been from the women's basketball team behind me.
Yeah, that's them. I've got the Bethel women's team in behind on the far side, waiting for their 11:45 flight out of here. Still some folks taking in the action. Not a surprise. Not a surprise to find a lot of basketball junkies at this level. A lot of coaches.
Absolutely.
A lot of coaches here last night whose teams were certainly not involved in that game. Watching the Calvin Whitworth matchup.
Absolutely. Yeah, number of them, including Bethel's head coach Herbert Meyer.
Yeah, who's still here right now. 3 on the way, shot up, no good. Rebound controlled by St. Vincent. So Calvin's been a little cooler to start the second half, but St. Vincent's got to get something going for that to matter. Ford spins, nowhere to go on the baseline, and fires up an awkward and ugly-looking air ball.
Almost used 2 hands there on that shot.
Yeah. Daly, drives, tough shot, got it, count it, going to the line. Swooping in off the glass, Jordan Daly. What body control, and he heads to the free throw line for a 3-point play. He's got 9.
I believe they got that on D'Amico.
Nick Cronenmeyer. Cronenmeyer into the game. Parks takes a seat.
Daly, a 65% free throw shooter. He has scored in double digits every single game, though I forgot to check last night's.
Well, he has tonight. That's his 10th point right there.
Yeah, makes it a
19-point game.
Big game here. Yeah, I mean,
these are painful when you come at the end of a long weekend. Not for the Calvin fans who are watching, painful for a different reason for the St. Vincent fans, but this is game 16-16.
Especially
you
after
you hope the teams will pick it up a little bit for you in terms of energy, but
especially after you won the first 2.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work that way. Still time for St. Vincent here. They're down 49-30.
Oh, plenty of time. We've seen crazier things.
Bearcats Ben Klimchuk trying to probe the Calvin defense.
Yeah, Calvin in that 2-3 kind of matchup zone.
There's Swart out with the follow off the miss by D'Amico. 6 points for the big man, 49-32. Calvin by 17 is...
It's a battle of zones pretty much against these two.
Preston Huckabee in the game at the next dead ball for the Calvin Knights. Wilkes spins, no-look pass. Daly for 3, got it. Daly with the triple, 13 points for him, 2 assists for Michael Wilkes, who's putting together a highlight reel here in this game.
Might go out and say this might be the biggest lead of any game so far here. A lot of games haven't been that much of a blowout.
Well, I'm trying to think if DeSales might have beat Laverne by more, or might have led them by more than 20.
Yeah, that's the only one I can't remember.
That was the only one that felt real lopsided the whole way. 3 on the way, up and good. Ben Klimchuk for 3.
Well, even that early on was a little bit of a battle. That took until the second half before DeSales finally got in control. By the way, St. Vincent will sub in 5, including guys I don't think we've seen so far in this tournament.
Yeah, well, at least one of them I don't recognize.
Yeah, there's one right away. There's actually 2, I think.
Jumper from Daly, who all of a sudden cannot miss.
Which basically means I think D.P. Harris has decided this one's out of their hands.
Well,
15. I don't think it's out of their hands, but I think he wants to give his guys some experience. He's even sitting now. It's not a give-up type thing. This is a, hey, this is perfect. I got to get a guy's experience before before conference play.
Well, D'Amico's hit a 3 in the Knights. The Bearcats have hit back-to-back triples, and they're now down by 16. 54-38.
Still some good fight in them.
Yep. Daly, they got to get him to stop making shots, and that doesn't happen right there. Daly now has 9 points in the last 3 minutes. He's got 17 total, excuse me. And Calvin's still in front by 18. Well, 15. As Klimchak has hit another three in the.
Where was all this in the first half?
The Knights, or excuse me, I did it again. The Bearcats back-to-back threes now on their last 3 possessions. And
where did they go here?
Getting an offensive foul, yep.
Yeah, I think
on Michael Welch.
I think he thought about it and then finally decided Welch kind of just leaning in with his shoulder. Kind of cleared the foul, as it were.
So let's get you the Calvin subs, and then we'll reset St. Vincent on their next possession. Cannoni checks in. Actually, it's the next possession is right now. So Cannoni and Huckabee check in. Now we'll reset the St. Vincent lineup for you. Jalen Bell, who played most of the first half, is in. J.C. Howard is in. You get Pat Jones. You get Austin Dietert. So those are the 4 starters, with Ford now playing with the second team. And Alex Van Zant, number 33, comes in.
He was a healthy scratch, I think, last game.
Yeah. As Van Zant there as the ball gets poked away out of bounds. Van Zant, a 5'4", freshman
6'4".
Okay, he's listed in the roster as 5'4". I was going to say that's not our stat sheet.
Oh no, he's 6'4".
Yeah, I was going to say he's
like,
not 6.
whoa,
He's not 5'4",
no.
but that's what they have him as.
He's
Nevertheless,
been thoroughbred society, if that means anything to. That doesn't mean anything because that doesn't make any sense.
Is that like
scratch that out?
Is that his support
apparently
group
I never
for Skidmore or
I never
something?
apparently changed some stuff from Skidmore on his system. That's just weird.
Well, I was going to make
a lot of notes on here. Somehow transferred over.
I was going to make a Leonard Skinnard reference.
Nice.
His last name is Van Zant, but
nice
shot. No
I like
good.
that one.
Down the court, Kevin Vandestreek does not play for the Knights, so that is a turnover.
How sad. You notice about halfway through the last game that on one of your game sheets you've still got notes from another team. It is what it is. Calvin, though, in more of a – I don't know, they're back in that zone. Been playing mainly zone so far this game.
56-41. St. Vincent is put together a bit of a rally here, and Austin Parks is going to pick up a personal foul. That is the 3rd of the half on Calvin.
And his second. By the way, Austin Parks, also another one of those players we've talked about, not able to be ranked in the NCAAs for free throw percentage. He's a 91% free throw shooter, but he's only made 2.3 a game coming into this. Under the 2.5 minimum.
Through the hands there. Hands
wow.
of Jalen Bell.
How did that work out?
56-41, 13:34 to play.
St. Vincent now in there. Well, gotta go and say 2-3.
Michael Welch. It's Welch who has his pocket picked. And Bearcats will try and make it a little closer. Pat Jones, right-hand dribble. Open 3 for J.C. Howard, not this time. What a rebound by Van Zant. No, Dieter, yes. And
still fighting.
Yeah, Vandestreek does not like the way this is trending. He says, I want a timeout. Now, he can't call it. Isn't that the change in the rule?
That's correct. While the ball's in play, you're right. So one of his players,
right.
It was
he was shouting with increasing agitation, but there's a reason they weren't paying attention to him.
Yeah, the only time they can call it is dead ball scenarios, which, by the way, does happen once the ball goes through the basket. It's considered a dead ball. But, no, the players got to call it in men's basketball, though. One of the officials joking with me yesterday during today, but during yesterday's Ramapo game, gave Ramapo and Chuck McBreen a timeout that he knew the moment he blew the whistle he shouldn't have, and he said something to Chuck about the fact that he screwed that up. Chuck got a smile at it. Ref said he went to the table and said that timeout called by number 4, even though it really wasn't number 4. And then he went to the opponent and said, I'm sorry about that. It's one of those rules it's hard to break when you've been for 20-some-odd years reffing and used to calling whenever you hear the word. And they'll figure it out. Right. Not the end of the world.
That certainly takes a different training of the mental response there.
Yeah.
Bearcats very balanced scoring. 7 points for Jones, 7 points for Howard, 7 points for D'Amico, 6 points for Klimchak. And they are down by 13. Had been 19 a few moments ago. Nice head fake there, but Drews, but doesn't know what he wants to do. Denny, who doesn't know where he wants to go after the ball.
Denny in trouble.
Yeah.
Shot clock was running out and he forced it.
Bell back the other way. Howard calls for it. Goes 1-on-5, literally. Tip followed by Bell, and he tips it up and in. And so they
don't look now.
Yeah, Bearcats inch a little closer, 56-45.
And if you haven't noticed, D.P. Harris back on his feet. And if you haven't noticed, Vandestreek's definitely on his feet.
So is Calvin's coaching staff.
Apparently, assistant allowed to stand as well. That's not supposed to be happening either. You're supposed to only have one coach who's allowed to stand at a time. That rule's been in place for a few years now.
Cam Denny down in the block, and a bump and a foul. Nick Cronenmeyer is jarred off the ball by J.C. Howard, who will pick up the foul. Yep.
I believe that's going to be Howard's first.
Fifth of the second half here on the Bearcats. Yep. And here comes Daly. Here comes Wilkes.
This is a perfect game for these two teams. You know, get a chance to get guys in, get a chance to work through the kinks before you get back into conference play. You know, just work on little details.
Nice cut. Daly can't finish, though. And
it's a great feed, too.
Good look on a save. Daly again can't finish. Denny has a shot blocked. And possession arrow in favor of Calvin. But all kinds of second and third chances here.
Just can't finish the extra points.
St. Vincent will be back in conference action immediately. They will play Westminster this weekend. So they'll play 4 games in 7 days. Shot up, no good. Rebound controlled by the Bearcats.
By the way, final, MSOE beats Illinois Wesleyan 89-63. A little chaotic there.
Yep. Parks coming back the other way, and now he's fouled, and that's 6 fouls on the Bearcats, so the next one will be 1-1.
They were much better in the first half in that department. Didn't get to this point till the 3-minute mark.
Cam Denny will inbound.
I missed who that was on.
That was on not Howard, I'm sorry. It's on 31, Klimchuk.
Ah, very good. His second, by the way.
Parks, Canoni for Daly. And the shot up and won't fall. Denny can't get it to follow. And oh, my goodness.
Oh, and you see his reaction.
And you see, both the reaction of Van de Streek and Denny. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Free throw shot the other way, no, and a foul.
Going to go on Dietert?
On Dietert, I think, and that's his third.
Yep, Dietert in the 7th for the team, but it's offensive, so they won't shoot. Actually, I think that's Dietert's 4th.
Yeah, you're correct. And Austin Ford, who's got 3, will check in.
But back to Denny, who will go to the free throw line. Yeah, I mean, he literally looked down at his hands like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, that went all the way around the rim, looked like it was going to tip in and just rolled right out. But Denny will go in the line here to shoot. The 1-1, he's an 85+% free throw shooter. But, of course, when you mention that stat, they miss it.
Yeah, Calvin, after not being able to miss, now can't make anything here as they've had a bunch of just weird shots rim out. Full timeout taken. We'll step out with him. St. Vincent getting close. It's the Knights 56 and the Bearcats 45. Welcome back. Alma finishing off the victory over St. Norbert. The Scots continue with their hot start. 8-4 with a loss to a D1 program for Alma to start the year. St. Vincent, one of their conference mates, Thomas More, won in an emotional game against Transylvania. We'll tell you why at the next dead ball, as there is a foul. Thomas More trailing Transylvania by 5 in the final minute. They had a guy score 7 points in that final minute. His mother, who's battling what the college has termed terminal cancer, was in the stands watching, and as soon as the game ended, he went up into the stands to give her a hug, and unless you're made of stone, that's it gets a little dusty in here when you watch that type of stuff. Oh, and incidentally, Thomas More won the game, 74-73. So 56-45. On the outside is Jordan Daly. Daly dumps it down low into the hands of Wilkes, it's Welch.
Jump.
Oh wow. Okay. Huh. I thought he had control of the ball all by himself.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a foul or not. I just didn't know that was the case.
You and I both got screened out by the official. Couldn't really see what was underneath. Interesting enough, St. Vincent just lurking here.
Yep. 56-45. Chance to get it to single digits. It hasn't been there for a while.
No.
Ford just
pushing
Wilkes out of the way with his left arm.
I don't know if it was maybe as bad as it looked, but yeah, he still did it.
But he's got it. They've got it down to a 9-point lead. Parks nearly loses the ball.
St. Vincent, their full court press isn't that bad. They caused some havoc with that thing.
Daly drives open. Look until it's blocked.
Lord.
Howard from behind. 3 on the way. Got it. And Calvin stopped the long streak with a 3 from Nate Drews. They badly needed that.
Howard swatted that without leaving his feet. He just timed it so well. But then the insult to the effort is when they hit the 3 to follow.
Trying with the answer. Rattles in. Pat Jones for 3. He's the first Bearcat with double-digit scoring.
Jones started the last game with 2 straight 3s.
Yes.
Howard tried to go for 2.
Howard takes a wild swipe.
He's trying to make sure it's on him and not Ford. He doesn't want Ford to pick up a 4th. It is going to be on Howard, who picks up his 2nd.
Team foul number 8. 2 shots anyway, but getting closer to the double bonus. Jordan Daly, 6'3" senior, heads back to the free throw line. Trying to get the extra oomph over the free throw line there, or over the rim for the basket. Galvin 6 of 11 from the line now.
Swartout comes in as we hear some birds hanging out in the. Wow.
No, that's a person mimicking a bird.
Because there been some birds flying through.
Yeah.
It's a big arena. It happens.
Daly, 1 of 2, 60-50. Galvin up by 10.
I was going to say Bell out there, but Swartout comes into the game. They had a bunch of subs along with Simmons. I believe Sinwell is sitting out there. D'Amico is out there as well.
Swartout calling for the ball, trying to post up, and as usual, he draws a crowd immediately.
Well, especially with that style of zone defense that Calvin's playing.
Deep 3, has to get something off with 2 on the shot clock. Swartout gets his left hand on it, but ends up tipping it into the hands of Tony Canoni. Daly down the floor. His team up 10 now, trying to settle things down. 3 and a couple of free throws last two possessions. Welch in a little bit of trouble. Dish for Daly. Daly hangs. A lot of contact, nothing called. And
well, Swartout got the ball clean. He didn't make any body contact. You could have probably argued on the other side. Yeah, you could probably make that fair argument. As checking out the game will be Daly here. I think the refs maybe have the same mentality everybody else does, unless there's Welch back in. Unless there's a real reason. They're trying to keep this game moving along as well. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
8:24 to play on the game. Jumper up, back rim, side rim, front rim, won't roll home.
Backboard, everything.
And Meppelink can't get the visitors roll, and Bell goes plowing into the
trip.
All kinds of guys. Video, we'll just let you watch it as they scrum for it.
And that one's hard to describe.
Parks. Big step there from Wilkes. And
Wilkes made a big step and then had his back to the basket and tried to turn 180 degrees around to get a shot off. That's just physically tough.
Bell.
You hear Coach Van de Streek telling his team to talk on defense.
Swartout in trouble as he finds Bell, 10 on the shot clock.
2-3 zone, what they'll do is they'll take the middle guy and flash him over onto the double team. A foul away from the ball.
It's team foul number 6 on Calvin.
Canoni, his first.
Michael Wilkes has cooled off a little bit, heads to the bench. Bearcats get it inbound. They trail 60-50 with 7.5 to play. Jalen Bell getting to the right side. Not much there. Over for Howard.
Yeah, you could have called Swartout for an illegal screen there.
Swartout again gets his big right hand on the ball, tips it out.
Well done.
Howard for Bell. Long possession here for St. Vincent. Long 2. No. Swart out.
Swart out. Almost got it again.
Yeah. So rebound controlled by Nate Drews of Calvin, and the Knights have settled things down after St. Vincent had a little bit of a run. They still lead by 10. Good look down low. Shot. Got it. Count it. Going to the line. Cam Denny with a three-point play opportunity.
I believe that's going to go against D'Amico, which will be his second. Transferred in from, why do I read my notes? They're not the right ones. I'm going to ignore that. I have no idea if he transferred in or not.
Apparently,
Denny. Everything I did for work on them never made it to paper. Gosh.
And it took 3 games for you to notice.
Apparently, which means I've been saying Swart out has played in all games in his career. I actually don't know if Swart out's played in every single game in his career.
Cam Denny with the three-point play, and the Knights now lead by 13. We'll just go back to YouTube and edit all that stuff out.
Yeah, we'll just edit it out. Very simple to do.
Bell for Swart out. Swart out, double teamed. Is he out of bounds?
Yeah,
Nope.
no,
Bell
they call
was
it push. They're going to say Jones, I think, pushed him.
Yeah, you've got Cronenmeyer, and you've got
I'm sorry, not Jones.
Denny in the
Cronenmeyer, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that's the 6th foul on Calvin. I'm sorry, 4th foul on Calvin.
Fourth,
so
yep.
they're still pretty far away from the bonus. Jumper on the way, no good. St. Vincent's gone into a funk again here. Now down by 13.
Kind of a pressure funk, feeling like they've got to hit a shot. And so they're forcing anything up that they can to try and get into this.
Denny, shot, no. Swartout contested the rebound, but Denny controls. Draws a crowd. He's got 4 guys on him, and now they'll reset with Cannoni. 6:10 on the game clock, 22 on the shot clock. Ground to the outside.
Oh, no. Swart out.
3. Takes it off balance, but hits it anyway. Cam Denny for 3.
I was about to say, come on, Swart out. Denny's not going to take that shot. Denny took that shot. He's 9 of 18 coming into the week.
Well, he's now the 5th night in double digits. Daly is 18, Wilkes 16, Parks and Drews 11, and Denny 10.
For a team that's only got 66, that's impressive.
Jalen Bell with the answer, 66-53, 5:37 to play. St. Vincent needs to string stops and baskets together. There's a 3 on the way. That's not going to help, as that's a Nate Drews 3 from the near sideline. He's got 14 now, and he's at 4 of 6 from the three-point line.
I thought his foot might have been on the line, but nearest official didn't argue it.
J.C. Howard. As Jalen Bell springs free for a moment. 3 off the back rim, no good. Howard with the rebound. Nope.
Jones, actually.
Oh, excuse me.
It's all right.
Denny controls the defensive rebound. He's played real strong over the last few minutes now. And Galvin comfortably in front by 16. It will stay that way as the shot is no good.
Oh, wow. Flying in, trying to get the rebound was Klimchuk.
And another 3.
And he ran into a brick wall named Nate Drews and just bounced off Drews to the ground. Whoa.
Yeah, well, did not look good leaving the hands.
No.
But the end result is good for Ben Klimchuk.
That one just, watch Denny. Oh, jeez. Denny went to make a pass, got off balance, and nearly fell over the end line, which would have been a turnover.
72-56. Cam Denny played at Delta State, so there you go.
There you go. So he did transfer is what you're trying to say. No, wait, wrong team. I think, by the way, Denny was feeling so good for the last 3.
Yeah, he just took that one
NBA
from like 29 feet out.
Denny, coach isn't going to like that. And you know what? I think he might take this timeout to let you know that, too. He takes timeout with 4:04 left.
Well, a smile on the face of some of the Calvin players, so whatever Van de Streek said, it's evidently not with too much malice behind it. 72-56. Coach Van de Streek has to be generally pretty happy here. 72-56. He had a tough draw. Number 2 team in the country, and a 3-time conference champ. Basically playing 2 games in 24 hours. And they're going to come out of this, still 4:04 to play, but they've controlled really.
Most of the tempo here.
Yeah. They've really controlled throughout.
Chuck McBreen reminded us, of course, he's been here 5 of 6 times with Ramapo, that he's played 2 number 1 teams while here. Of course, we knew Stevens Point. Totally forgot North Central was number 1 when he came here and played them. But, you know, when you're here 5 or 6 times, there's only so many times we can avoid a top-ranked team for you. I'm sorry. You didn't play I turned to him and said we could have had you play Whitworth this year.
Yeah. Would have been a contrast in coaching styles.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Matt Logie looking like he's at a cocktail party with a drink in his hand.
Yeah.
with Chuck McBreen looking like he's at a Giants football game.
With a different drink in his hand.
With a different. Yes.
72-56.
Well played.
Calvin with the basketball and a 16-point advantage is Jordan Daly.
This has been the game of zones.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all we've seen from these two squads. I think we saw a little man maybe from Calvin.
Good look
Nice
down low,
feed.
spinning Denny. Much closer range in his last shot. He rolls it home. He's got 12.
I'm going to argue he was about 27 feet closer.
Yeah, 74-56. As the Knights have brought a new man in, I'm sorry, the Bearcats have brought a new man into the game. Kyle Rivera is now out there. 3 on the way, up and good. Still chucking away. Matt D'Amico hits the triple. 74-59, down by 15. Problem is they can't stop Calvin again.
Previous 3 by D'Amico. Rivera, Rivera, I should say, from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he's played now in 7 or 8 games so far this season.
We got a couple Floridians on this team with him and Van Zant.
Which is why they had a direct flight booked when they arranged this tour from Spirit Airlines from Latrobe, if you can believe it, all the way to Vegas. That got canceled, if you could believe it. And the option was to fly via Fort Lauderdale. I bet you some of those Florida guys were like, that's fine with us.
Yeah.
Problem was, the older guys ended up something happened. I'm not sure. I never really figured out what happened, but something happened to the flight, and they got split up. And the older part of the team went via Dallas during the horrible storms that rolled through Dallas and got here. And then the younger team had to go via LAX, and Coach D.P. Harris was with them. They spent the night in front of Gate 32 on the floor sleeping.
Wow. So it has been an exceptionally long week for St. Vincent.
26-hour travel day.
74-59. It'll be interesting to see how they respond when they finally get home from all this with Westminster immediately on Saturday. And I'm not sure if that's at their place or not. It's not a terrible drive one way or the other, but
still,
after a week like this it is.
Yeah. It's the last thing you want to do is get on another vehicle and travel to a game.
Latrobe is, let's say, an hour east of Pittsburgh, and Westminster is, let's say, an hour north of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
There's a foul. 74-59. Time starting to run out here on the Bearcats. Matt D'Amico will go to the free throw line. D'Amico, co-leader on the team for scoring at the moment. Stays that way. He's got 10 points. Pat Jones with 10. Jalen Bell and Ben Klimchek with 9 apiece.
Not sure if anybody has talked about this, but around Division III, New Paltz has postponed their game coming up on Saturday against Kane. Reason being several of their, oh, hold on, I want to make sure. Nope, has not been announced, so I'm going to keep that. A tough time for the team right now, and they needed to postpone the game. We'll keep you abreast of that. Obviously, hoops will be coming up on Sunday, so we'll talk maybe about that then.
Right here, Van Zant heads to the free throw line. He got the steal and he got the foul.
Welch picks up his 3rd.
Trying to pull the Bearcats a little closer here. Still down by 13 with 2:20 to play. First point of the night for Van Zant. Something in this game, the Bearcats wanted to try and establish the 2 Austins, Ford and Dietert, down low, but they've been held in check. They're going to finish with, well, I don't know what they'll finish with, but they've got 7 points combined right now. 74-62. Here comes Austin Parks as Kyle Rivera tries to tip it away from behind. And Parks breaks the press, and he's fouled by Jalen Bell, among others.
Yeah, I mean, pick one. It's going to go against Bell. His 2nd foul.
74-42, or 62. Parks at the free throw line. So as we mentioned, MIAA. Hope is the prohibitive favorite. Calvin, Alma, Trine, all in the mix.
Well, even
it's a
others.
4-team conference tournament, so top 4 make it.
And others will be a factor. Olivet will certainly want to play spoiler in that group. And certainly others will want to play in that role. Certainly capable if you don't take them seriously enough.
75-62.
Apparently I've got it flipped. Just trying to make it a more interesting ball game.
Austin Ford has had a rough night at it. It slipped through his hands, tries to save it, and saves it right into the hands
He's had a
of Austin
frustrating
Parks.
week, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a 13-point lead, and this game will take as long as Coach D.P. Harris wants it to.
That's a fair argument.
As he still has his players fouling. Jordan Daly back to the free throw line.
Well, D'Amico's guarding Daly 35, 40 feet from the basket. Hand checks him out there. I mean, in their mind, this is still close. It is 13. Worst case, 15. I mean, 14. As he misses the free throw.
You know, I think if you could, in a sense, if you could tell St. Vincent that they're going to go 2-1, but they can pick the one they're going to lose, I think this would be the one they would not have picked.
I agree with you.
It's in region.
Yep.
It's you know, the knock on the President's Athletic Conference has always been that the top team in that conference would probably be 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 or whatever in any of the other ones. And this is not going to bolster that argument.
I think this is the official sign that Coach D.P. Harris has decided that time's done, as Will Sandher is into the game, the 6-foot freshman guard from Allison Park, Pennsylvania. He replaces Jalen Bell, the senior.
Although St. Vincent does have a win over Marietta on its mark. Marietta,
absolutely.
Chasing John Carroll for the OAC title.
Well, not just them, Mount Union.
Right.
That is a big 3-horse race with a lot of good teams below them too. That's going to be probably the most fascinating race in the Great Lakes men's side.
Yeah. John Carroll winning easily today over Bridgewater State. They're one of a couple of teams with 11 wins now.
Yeah, John Carroll having one of the best starts to the season in program history, if you can believe it. That's a long program history to look at.
President's Athletic Conference, St. Vincent 3-0 in Conference 7 and about to be 7-3 overall. Grove City 7-3 overall and 2-0 in Conference. Bethany's.
Grove City had a big win, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
Or a surprising win?
Bethany's always among the leaders in that conference. Quality program. They're 6-4, 2-1 in conference.
Bethany definitely lost a bit. I think I heard Pat say it. Coaching change, if memory serves.
Yeah, they were part of that long carousel that started when Randolph Macon's Nate Davis went to.
That opened. That opened up a big door, did it not?
Yep. Well, he was replaced by Salisbury's
Bethany
coach.
Salisbury's
coach.
No. Nate got Salisbury's coach. I was thinking Bethany's coach went to Salisbury. That's why it triggered. You're right. Yeah, as the carousel turns. Yeah, Andy Sachs, who's a Salisbury grad, left Bethany, went to Salisbury, where
Bethany's head coach went there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Andy Sachs went to Salisbury. That's his alma mater. But I just drew the name. I can't believe I just drew a complete name blank as to who left. Josh
Harris? No. Well, whatever. That's what the
went
internet
to
was
Randolph
invented
Macon. Yeah,
76,
after
64.
16 games, I'm done.
31 seconds to
This
play
is why
here.
I have 3 monitors in front of me when I host Hoopsville. Look at that little tip-in from Sander.
Yeah, nice
just
effort.
to make things a little bit more interesting.
Well, just a little. It's a 12-point lead with 25 seconds to play.
10.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying a little
10-point
more
lead.
interesting.
Well,
Oh, Sander gets the steal. Oh, no, they call it jump ball. Oh, and I don't know if you could hear it, but Coach Vandestreek making a point to his team. Do you want to keep, you got to play to the end of the game.
76-66, 18.9. He has all the starters out there, doesn't he? 10, 22, 20, 30, 34. Yeah, he does.
He's got his starters
He's got his starters
DP's
out
backups.
there. So.
Well, Ford's out there for DP, and
that's
it. The rest are all backups for DP. All
Daly,
deep on the bench guys.
Oh, nothing else.
This might be a message from Vandestreek to his team.
I want you to get smacked around. I mean, they're taking a beating, and now Ford and Daly exchanged words, and I'm sure they weren't Merry Christmas.
Well, maybe Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And then Daly's having a further conversation with Van Zant. Well, interesting enough, Howard is now ready to check in. So things are getting a little interesting here. And I think the referees have had enough of Daly. Daly's being told to go to the bench. That's rare.
That's Denny, not Daly.
I'm sorry, you're right, Denny. I apologize.
Daly's
Denny's literally been told to go to the bench. I don't think he's been officially ejected, but I think they told the head coach, get him out of the game. We're done with his talking. And he does go to the bench and sits down. Interesting finish to this one. Wow.
76-66. Calvin.
Think they'll exchange Christmas cards?
Unlikely. Calvin took control of this game by making 7 of their first 8 shots.
Yeah, this will be the
St. Vincent
Dogs.
briefly took a lead, and Calvin took it right back. And the Knights are going to head home. Improved to 5-6. St. Vincent's long week. Generally successful, though, again, I think given their druthers, this is the one they would have rather not lose.
Yep.
They go 2-1 here on the men's side and 2-0 on the women's side. Bearcats 6-3 overall. Let's get you your final numbers here from the final game for the D3 Hoops Classic. The Knights shoot 45%, 27 of 60, 52% from behind the arc at 12 of 23. Not a great night from the free throw line, but didn't particularly need it. 11 of 19, 58%. Bearcats, 23 of 63 from the floor. Never really got on track, 37%. Just 9 of 24 from behind the arc, 38%, and 11 of 14 from the free throw line. St. Vincent out rebounds Calvin by 1, 39-38. The assist to turnover ratio ends up being a -2 for St. Vincent, 7 assists to 9 turnovers, and ends up being a +4 for Calvin, 15 plus to 11 minus. For the Knights who win tonight, or this afternoon, or whatever it is, wherever you are, 5 players in double figures, and they're the only 5 guys to score. Jordan Daly, 20 points on 7 of 12 shooting, hit a 3, 5 of 10 for the free throw line, an assist and 4 rebounds for the 6'3" forward.
Still got 100 people listening, Gordon. Come on.
All right, Nate Drews, 17 points, and Drews hit a bunch of really critical shots when the game was starting to narrow a little bit. He finishes 6 of 10 and 5 of 8 from behind the arc with 5 rebounds.
Wow.
16 points for Michael Wilkes. He got 11 very quickly. He finishes with 16. 12 points for Austin Parks, who kind of quietly put those up there. Can Denny, who made a little bit of noise of the extracurricular kind at the end of the game, finished with a hard-fought 12 points, 8 rebounds. 4 of 12 from the floor. Leading rebounder for the Knights was Denny. Leading assist man on the night was Tony Canoni. Didn't score, but he did have 4 assists dished out. St. Vincent balanced scoring. Matt D'Amico leads the way, 13 points, 3 of 6 from the floor, hit both threes, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Pat Jones with 10 points for the Bearcats. Jalen Bell and Ben Klimchuk added 9 apiece. J.C. Howard with 7, 4 for Bobby Swartout, 4 for Austin Ford, 3 for Austin Dietert, 3 for Dan Sinwell, and a couple of points late for Alex Van Sant and Will Sander. Leading rebounder for the Bearcats was Austin Dietert. He had 7. Leading assist man for the Bearcats, well, they only had 7 assists total, but Bobby Swartout, the big man, managed to put together a couple of them. So, again, final score, Calvin College 77, St. Vincent College 66. The Calvin Knights headed back to conference play. They are 5-6. St. Vincent's longest week ever continues. They head back home. They play Westminster tomorrow. Not tomorrow, not quite that fast, but they play St. Vincent, they play Westminster on Saturday, and the Bearcats will head back home 6-3. All tournament honorees on the men's side, Thomas Bonnicum from Ramapo and Jordan Daly from Calvin. In this game, Dylan Foreman from Pacific Lutheran, Russell Green from Mary Hardin Baylor, Pat Jones from St. Vincent, Kristen Gerlina from Whitworth, John Keefe from UW Stout, Eric Sanders from Skidmore, and the most outstanding player, Kenny Love from number 2 ranked Whitworth University. And St. Vincent on the women's side, all-tournament team, Hannah Carroll for the Bearcats. As we appreciate all the support of the sports information directors. Thanks to all the folks here at the South Point Arena. Special thanks to Brett Seymour. If you're happen to have been watching this and you're not from one of these 2 programs and you think you'd like to get involved, email Pat Coleman. It's pat.coleman@d3sports.com. We'll give you the lowdown on how to get involved. The field is already starting to fill up for next year. We've got about half of the field already set in terms of written commitments, and a bunch of schools with some verbal commitments, but still space. We'll find room for you if you want to come. Want to wish you a Happy New Year. Only about an hour and a half away from New Year's Eve on the East Coast. And thanks for tuning in if you've joined us throughout the weekend or just on occasion. We were very happy to bring you the action here from the South Point Arena, as always. For Justin Sweeney, who's heading to do his new job in Kentucky. For Dave McHugh, who's headed back to get ready for Hoopsville, and for Pat Coleman and I, who are just flying headed home. We wish you a good night and a very happy New Year. Take care, everyone.